Hey guys, Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I've just come off the back of quite a long stream testing out Artak, and I gotta say, he is a phenomenal champion for you to pick up. I will be doing more videos over the next couple of days on how to sort of build Artak, different ways we can use him, different areas I think he's going to be particularly strong and powerful in. And yeah, if you haven't caught my stream last night, it was a pretty hectic, very fun stream. Thanks to everyone who came along and partook. But just before I was heading to bed, someone alerted me to a weird thing that was going on with Artak's passive. Now, his passive is meant to increase his different stats based on how much maximum HP he's lost. So basically also increases this champion's speed and resistance by 2 for each 1% of their destroyed maximum HP. Now, anyone with basic knowledge of math will go, well, okay, if he can only lose 50% HP, then 50% times, or 50 times 2 equals 100 speed. Well, we have a bit of a problem with this because I've actually looked at the multiplier in the game code and I don't think this is working as we think. We all think you can get 100 speed from this passive. I don't think it's doing that. So what I've got on the screen here is the actual multiplier of his passive. Now, I'm not entirely sure when this passive actually activates. It looks like it's transcribed to something like after the start of the turn, but we don't know whether that necessarily means it's straight after he gains a loss of max HP, or is it at the next champion tick rate, or another pattern in that fashion? Is it his turn right after? But essentially what happens is this formula applies to actually increase his speed, and it's the same type of formula as his resistance. It's just changing the speed to resistance. So we can loosely translate this as the percentage of target destroyed HP divided by the sum of the current HP plus the percentage of the target destroyed HP. Then we times it with target base speed and times it by 2. So if you wanted to like rewrite this in a human fashion, you would go, if I'm at 50% loss of HP, it's basically 0.5 divided by 1 minus the sum of total HP minus the current destroyed, which is my current HP, plus 0.5. And then we would basically take that number and times it by whatever base speed we've got and times it by 2. Now, the problem is this isn't doing what we thought. It's not going, okay, well, you've lost 50% HP, so I'm going to go 0.5 times, or what is it? So 50 times 2, which is what we think it should be doing. That would be 100 speed on top, and it modifies the stat to give you bonus stat. What it's actually doing is it's multiplying your total speed. Now, I'm going to call this as a bug, an unintended bug. I think they've just kind of accidentally got the wrong character here. I don't know if this should really be multiply. It probably should be plus, because when you multiply it by the total speed, what you're doing is an exponential growth. So here's a table to kind of demonstrate to you what I mean. So if we start at 100 base speed, and then we added in a 30% aura with 13 buff. Let's just make it all 19% because we're using that in the playtest as evidence video here. So let's just put these and round these figures down here. So you can see if we had no lost HP, then we gain no bonus speed. Now, my understanding of the way this works is it's adding on top. It is modifying the stat with additional stat. So when we're at 100 base speed with a buff and the aura, if we lost 25% max HP, we're gaining 62 bonus speed. When it's at 50%, we're actually gaining 125 speed. Why? Because it's not adding 2 for every 1% lost. It's multiplying the total speed by 2 when it's at 50%. So if it was at 100%, we multiply 2 with 0. We don't add anything bonus. We're actually going multiply it by 2 by the total speed. So at 125 speed, he's going 249 speed, which means if you scale this incredibly high, I've built Artak as a test here at 304 speed, 304, and I've put a 19% aura and 13 and 1.3 buff. That means effectively with this multiplier, he's not going sort of 404 speed, he's going 657 speed. Let me show you this in a video example. So here's the Artak built here. You can see I've got him at 304 speed. Okay, when he gets up to fully destroyed HP, he's going to be running at 657. Let me show you a working example, because we can reverse engineer the math here to show how he's going way faster than he should be. Let's bring in This setup here, we've got 19% speed over from Morrigan, an increased speed buff, and we've also got some burn activators. So we can basically boost this up here. We can throw out a burn right now because we don't really care. We can activate the burns, and all we want to do is we want to just try and get his passive knocked down. So we're just going to probably clear this wave through, get him fully knocked away before we can get started. Now you can already see he's starting to go a lot faster. He jumped the queue. He bypassed the Walking Tomb Drang. Now he's fully stacked up pretty much. And the way we can check if this is doing this is essentially the way that turn meter works. If you don't know, the TLDR is everyone will fill their turn meter bar at a specific rate. There's a fixed value in which a champion can fill its turn meter, and then the speed is modified, and that's how you calculate the tick rate in a rudimentary sense. So it basically means if you've got like a 1000 speed champion, they're going to fill it pretty much instantly, right? It's not going to take them too long. One tick and they will be there. So each of these champions will be filling their turn meter bar at a specific rate. That's why Theodore is currently at half, and the Walking Tomb Drang is at full. Now, when you enter a situation in which everyone has got more than 100 units in their turn meter bar, you enter a tiebreaker. And what ends up happening is the champion who has the most turn meter units at that time goes first. So in this situation, the Artak was at a higher value of turn meter bar, so therefore he beat out the Walking Tomb Drang. But what then happens is all the champions in the battle ticks once. So you can get a very quick example when you know that someone is definitely going to take a turn because Drang or the Gergo is definitely going to take a turn because they've got a full turn meter bar. When you're in that situation, you know that one singular tick is going to happen. So that means we can take the estimated speed, run it through the algorithm, and we can determine how much a single tick of speed is going to be. Now, in this instance, because we think it's running at 657 speed, that's 304 speed with 19% aura and a speed buff, actually translates to 329 total speed. Well, we think that's going to probably translate to 657 speed once you pass it through the multiplier because he is at 50% HP. Well, we pass that through, and that actually works out as a 0.46 turn meter fill rate. So it's just under 3 ticks to turn. So he's going to fill his turn meter bar by almost half in one tick. Now, if he was going at the correct speed, which should be, let's say, 304 plus 100, then he'd be going at 404 speed. And if we were to pass that through the algorithm, then he should only be filling approximately 0.28. So one is filling it just under half, the other one is filling it just over quarter. Let's take a look at how much turn meter bar he actually fills here. So we're about to take a turn. We can see that Walking Tomb Drang is going to get a turn. Let's just see how much he takes. Look at the turn meter bar. He's almost got a complete turn back. Now, we just said he shouldn't be getting 0.28. He should be getting 0.46. So even after that test, I went back and checked my math because I was like, he's filling way more than 48. And I realized I had made a calculation error here. I hadn't put the right brackets in. So if he's running at 304 speed with an aura of 19% and a speed buff of 1.3, he should be running at 420 speed. Because this target B speed is actually his current speed in the game, we're doubling his current speed, not his sheet speed, for a better word, or his base speed. We're actually doubling this 420. So he's actually running at 840 speed. So that means he's filling his turn meter bar at 0.58. Now, if he was just running what we think he should be running, which is, even if it's just his 420 plus 100, that should still only be 36%, 0.36 of his turn meter bar. But let's just run some examples here now and just run it through and watch this go through a few more times. You can see it's fully maxed out. So again, Morrigan is due to take a turn next. So we can basically take an A1 and we'll see how much he's filling. 0.58. So that's just a little bit under that time. But we haven't got the speed buff on at the moment, which makes sense. We're going to put the speed buff on in a second. We're going to basically kill this wave and we're going to start the whole process again so we can see. He doesn't lose his max HP across waves, so he should be at the right speed. So he goes before my Morrigan. Now, Morrigan is at 328 speed here. So at a minimum, he is going at 304 plus the aura, but without the buff at the moment. So at a minimum, he's going at 323 speed, and he is comfortably beating Morrigan. So that means he is getting his 323 speed plus the 100, that would be at 423 speed. But let's just have a look when we give him a speed buff here. So we're just going to do an A1. Now we're going to give him the speed buff. So again, he's going to take a turn. So this is where we can see how it's going to work, because we know either Theodore or Carvelax is going to take a turn. We said if he's going at that crazy speed that he shouldn't be, he should fill around about 0.58 of his turn meter bar. Where do we get to? That's 0.58. So I don't know whether this is intentional, but it certainly, to me, read like the skill should be giving him 100 bonus speed, not doubling his speed. Look how quickly he's taken a turn. He's going to jump the queue again in a minute. He's gone here, so we're going to basically activate this. Doesn't really matter. He's already at 0.58 on the next turn. He's going to take another turn. He's going to jump the queue. He's going to take another turn. We go again, 0. Just a little bit under. He's run out of speed buff now, so the speed buff is falling out. He is going at double his speed, not plus 100. This is also going to be the same for resistance. He is probably doubling his resistance, not adding 100 resistance. He is potentially even doubling his defense number. We haven't looked at the defense number multiplier here. Let me just take a look at that one quickly to see how it is working for the specific defense one. So the target defense doesn't look like it's being multiplied, and I think that is where the issue. The target defense looks like it's just taking 50% and adding that on top as raw value, whereas the other ones are multiplying it by 2. So this is an error, I think, in the code. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say this is not intentional, because I'll be honest, it's incredibly broken. It is incredibly broken if this is how fast he can go. We're talking we can make a champion go over 800 speed. Right now, he is going at over 800 speed with a sheet speed of 300. Watch how quickly he gets his turn meter back here. He'll be taking a turn before the rest of these champions can get back round. We'll put this out here. We'll just do this activation here, and we will probably go back round. Let's just go to one more wave just to show this off one more time. Okay, so we're at this wave. He's well ahead of Morrigan. No increased speed at the moment. We'll just do an A1 here. Morrigan's going to put increased speed out. He's going to take a turn, and again, we can check this. We know his fill rate because every champion, one of our champions is going to take one tick and then take their turn. He's going to fill his turn meter bar by over half in one turn. So there you go, guys. It is bugged from my understanding. I'm kind of giving this a bit of a benefit of the doubt to player him to say, hey, by the way, he's a bit broken with his passive. I think you need to check that multiply by 2. I don't think it should be multiplying by 2. You probably need to put a bracket on it or something. Check out that number, because to me, unless it's meant to multiply your speed by 2, which I can't imagine it is, because look how quickly this is. If we put it on auto, look how many turns he's going to take. He just keeps going and going and going once the enemy takes a turn. The enemy's cutting in here, but go, turn, double turn. His turn is just insanely fast. He's going at 800 speed. I don't think this is intentional. As I mentioned in the screenshot here in the spreadsheet, we can see the speed ranges is an exponential growth. So at 100 speed, he ends up going at 309 speed with all of the buffs active. At 300 speed, he's going 840 speed. At 400 speed, if you were able to build it that crazy, 1089 speed. It will break the game. So PSA, it is a little bit bugged. I will obviously use this video as evidence. Bug report it to player. I'm sure they'll jump on it to fix it and correct it. To me, it read like it should just be plus 100. It shouldn't be multiply the total speed. It's just insane. There you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for future videos. This one is going to go out before all the guides because I'm recording it after stream. It's been quite a late, long night for me here, so I probably look a little bit undead. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Raid unofficial QA moderator. Peace.